do you guys just kind of restore the culture and just everything this season that you guys want to have back on the field?
Just got to move on. We got to focus on this week and Purdue team coming in. That's really good. So, you can't take those things for granted. We've taken a little things for granted earlier in this year, but, again, you just got to move forward and try to go 1-0 this week.
We've heard this comment from coaches and from players a couple of times. Guys got to love football. What does that mean exactly to somebody who's played it his whole life?
It's one of those things where you got to kind of look yourself in the mirror. Nobody wants to start 0-3. A lot of people that do when things go bad in their life, not just football, just in their life. A lot of people like to quit. They tend to just give up on things, and that's when the love thing comes into play. If you love it, of course you're playing to win. It should kill you so badly that you're losing games that you want to win. So you want to keep fighting, keep doing that. So I think that's what that they're talking about as far as loving football.
Is there kind of a play-to-play competitiveness that matters too? That you're not going to win every single play in the game, but you just kind of like the idea of competing and being out there against good players.
Yeah, it's one of those things where just it's something that it flows in your blood. That's something I know me personally. I love being able to see where I'm at. Compare myself to other people. If I can win every battle, of course I'm gonna try to do it. I know it's not gonna happen, but if I lose one, I want to get back up and go swinging again. That's just something that it's just a mentality you have to have, a fire that has to burn inside you to want to do those kind of things.
Is there a guy on this team where you go, that guy plays football?
Oh, yeah. One of the guys on defense I know stands out is Muhammad Berry. You can see it by his play. It literally kills him. Even if he takes the wrong step, it bothers him that much. Sometimes we got to reel it in a little bit and just tell him, it's football. Don't get too crazy. But, that's the kind of things you want to see. You want somebody to be too crazy about it, too passionate about it. Not somebody that's just like, I can take this false step. It's not going to matter that much, because it does matter. And, that's one of the guys that stands out to me about that, loves it.
When there's a lopsided score, it's easy for people to question the effort. But when you watched it back, did you think the effort was there? Did guys competed? Was it other things? Or how would you describe what you saw?
I know defensively, a lot of it was the reason the score got so bad was because we were trying to do too much. We weren't just doing our jobs. We watched the film. Guys were coming free. They just got to make the play. And, a lot of, in the open field, missed tackles. I've had a few of them when they broke runs that if I just trust the technique that we're using when you get in those situations, we could have made those plays. And the same thing up front. They weren't just trusting the technique. A lot of the time they were, like I said, they were free. And, you just got to make the play. It wasn't that they were just better than us. It wasn't that they were stronger than us. It was just guys were coming free and they weren't making the plays. They weren't trusting their technique, trusting what we were teaching all week.
Okay, what goes through your mind when you hear a couple of Michigan players say Nebraska let up early? They can see it in your eyes, is what one of them said. What goes through your mind when you hear that?
Again, it's one of those things where you got to look at yourself in the mirror. If that's what we're putting on film, if that's how they felt, then, it doesn't matter what we think. If they're thinking that, these guys are giving up, that means we're not going hard enough. Even if we're down, 50-0, 50-3, it should be the point where they're like, man, these guys are still coming. Everything might not be going their way, but they're still coming. They're still hitting. They're still running. That's how it's got to be. I don't know if they were speaking about offense or defense. I don't know about the quote, but it's something that just a pride thing you have to have. You can be getting beat up, or you're just going to keep letting people beat you up, or you're going to get up and fight. It doesn't matter. You just got to have that kind of mentality.
How much have you guys addressed the slow starts that you guys have had, and how much has that played a factor, maybe psychologically, with just some of these games and how they've played out?
We have to address it just because, that's the reality of the situation. We're 0-3. But, again, you don't want it to be a psychological thing. You don't want it to linger because, every week's different. Everybody's different. Every team we play is going to be different. There's a little similarities, but the way we attack it is the key. Some weeks we've been attacking it great, and then we get out on the field and we kind of just let our technique and our assignments go out the door, and that's a bad thing. Some weeks we don't attack it so well, but when we try to do it on the field, it's just not doing it. So it's one of those things where we've got to put all of it together. We got to attack it during the week, and when we get on the field, we got to be locked in our assignments to the point where we don't want to take false steps. We don't want to miss tackles, miss our assignments. We got to be that locked in and that passionate and that have that much love about trying to do everything perfect. Everything's not going to be perfect, but you have to strive for it.
Are these growing pains you guys are going through defensively? Is that similar to what happened at UCF, or is this a different kind of maybe struggle?
It is similar in the fact that guys they'll be in the right spot, but they might not trust the technique. and then it just goes back to doing what they want to do or old habits. And, it's just one of those things you got to break it. So it is similar in that fact. I think guys kind of understand after watching the film today defensively, how important it is if you got to come off the lineman's butt to make the tackle, you need to come off the butt. Don't be a foot outside, because if you're playing a really good running back, all he needs is a foot. So, it's just one of those things where the little things, we got to clean it up and just trusting it. A lot of guys, they trust it up until the point where they need to trust it at that moment, and they might just freeze. And then that's when, you might miss a tackle or might miss your assignment. So it's just about trusting the techniques we're using.
They have a young freshman, I don't know, number 3. He's only 4 games into his career, but he's been really good.
The receiver?
Yeah,
number 4. Yeah.
Number 4. It seems like they do a lot of different things with him. As a safety, he was kind of the quarterback of the defense. How challenging is it to know where he's at and what they might do?
Yeah, I think, watching it early, they try to feature him a lot. He's a mismatch nightmare as far as putting him in the backfield or running back, trying to get him on linebackers and, working him in the slot on some of the guys like that. But, kind of just knowing where the playmakers are at. Him, number 7, the quarterback's good. You just kind of, if you can figure out, we're still trying to figure out where they're putting them, we might be able to find something. We're still watching film on it, but, those guys stand out. Just watching them play early on, they're stand out. They've been making plays. I've seen them, on ESPN making great plays. It's just one of those things where, they're going to get him the ball, and, he's going to touch the ball. It's just we got to rally and tackle him because he's making people miss right now. Just rally and tackle him as a unit, and then know where he's at on the field.
Tre, you're on special teams. What are some of the missing elements right now?
It's just one of those things where guys got to give effort, and I'm at fault for it also. I got to lead those guys out there by example. I should be going 100,000% no matter what. Special teams, again, as you guys seen it cost us a game earlier in the year, and then it took the life out of his last game, giving up that punt return. So it's one of those things where we got to care so much about it. And today we actually did a few drills just to to emphasize how important it is. And guys are in the games, they're not in the right leverage, or they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're just kind of running freely and just kind of doing whatever they want. And, I'm at fault for it also. But, getting that stuff cleaned up, I think, guys are starting to understand. We're trying to get the best 11 guys on the field also. So that's kind of working with that also.
You can speak to it better than anybody. Coach DeWitt, how he coaches it, and what have you seen of him, not just this year, but through the years, how he goes about putting that together?
Yeah, Coach DeWitt, he cares about special teams just as much, if not more, than, his individual position group, because he knows how important it is. We've won plenty of games because of special teams, previously at UCF, and we've lost games because of special teams. And, I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, guys, like I've said before, guys are going to want to play defense. Guys are going to want to play offense. But a lot of games are won and lost on special teams on simple. We can have 10 guys blocking on punt return. If one guy doesn't, that could be the difference in getting somebody killed on punt return or a touchdown. And, that's how important it is. Offense and defense, guys can make mistakes and people might make them right. Linebackers can make the D lineman right sometimes. But special teams, if one guy messes up, it can lead to a big play for the good or for the bad. So it's one of those things where, he cares a lot about that.
So far, has it been one of those deals where it's guys taking turns messing up, where, each play maybe it's a different guy?
Yeah, I think we're kind of taking advantage of, we're taking it just, sometimes we think, they're not running it my way this time. I can kind of cruise a little bit for a few seconds, then it breaks, and you're like, oh, crap. And then you're getting blocked, and that's when big things happen. No, we got to treat it as if the ball's coming to my side every time. Say we're on punt. The ball's coming to my side, I need to go make the tackle. If we get everybody to treat it like that, they can't return it. There's nowhere to return it. Same thing on kickoff, kick return. We need to treat it like the ball's coming my way, I need to make this block. So it's the same thing. We just got to kind of don't take for granted the reps you're getting. Just kind of treat every rep like it's the last one we're going to get of it.
More drills today, maybe than usual with that stuff.
Yeah, we didn't do any teamwork this week or today. We just did a lot more individual drills, working on the technique and stuff like that.
Hey Tre, Scott said on Saturday that you talked a little bit about Jim Harbaugh having a chance to sort of build there and being in your court. Did you sense a big difference from where they were at on Saturday compared to when you saw them?
The first year, yeah. Again, a lot of those guys that when I played them 2 years ago, they were true freshmen. They were kind of just getting their feet wet with college football. They were kind of still feeling around. Now, those guys have played 2 years under the belt. They know what it takes. They're a big time program. They have one game loss, and it was against a good Notre Dame team. So we knew that going in that they were going to come out there and try to set the tone for the Big Ten. those guys out there, they played a lot of snaps, and a lot of those guys are going to play on Sundays, so they know what it takes to win. They know what it takes, the little details, stuff like that, and I think you saw it. We just haven't. We got to get to that point also. Once we get to that point, you're going to see the same thing from us.
Trey, where's that balance between playing your technique and going full out and not having fear of it?
It's one of those things where it's just breaking bad habits. I remember when they first got to UCF, I had a lot of bad habits I had to work through from just previous the way I played. And, it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a game or two. It's one of those things where one time you're just going to let loose and you're going to see, wow, that was easy. And then it's a confidence thing. Once you do it once, you're going to want to do it again. You're going to keep doing it, keep doing it. It's just one of those things where once you get it to that point where you have so much confidence, you don't even think about doing the technique because you just do it every time. So it becomes second nature. So once you do that, that's when I think you start seeing the success.
I think some people are kind of jumping that step, maybe missing the step without learning the technique before you.
I think we understand the technique. I think it's more of a trust kind of thing. I think guys, they do the technique all the way to the point where, like I said earlier, you have to do it right at that point, and then that's why I think they kind of freeze. And, I think once you do that, it was pointless just to do the technique in general. You just got to kind of go through the whole thing and just trust it, let loose. It's one of those things where you got to go all in. You can't be just dipping your toes in the water. You got to jump full in and do it.
Anything else for Trey? Yes.
Thank you.
We'll hold the room open for Coach Frost.